Welcome back to finals week in Split 1 for the LTA. It is 4 North teams remaining. Welcome to the waiting room.
We the North! We did it!
We did it.
Ain't no party like an LTA party, baby.
Emily?
Sorry.
You're supposed to add to
We're
this.
not calling it LTA? Is that not an official thing?
LTA.
Yeah, LTA!
LTA is not something that I have heard yet.
All right. People are talking about it. It's going to be a thing. Don't worry.
I thought we were
just
looking
like
at...
EG Hoo-Ha.
Yeah. That one almost caught on.
Did you see what they did with the camera there? They were zoomed in as if we were there.
Yeah.
And turns out...
We're not actually there.
not
We're in
there.
LA.
Are you sure?
Jet.
That's the window.
Yeah.
I'm
No, I would have
disappointed.
remembered to flight.
We're not.
We can
Okay, we're in
just
LA.
see
That's Sao Paulo. Last week, the 4 North teams beat the 4 South teams, and we all picked what one of our favorite moments of the weekend was. For me, it was actually the Cloud9 lane swap. Because it was a reminder of how complex the lane swap can be and how small mistakes can snowball into something larger, like placing this ward in the wrong spot, which made Loud have to guess where to go. They guessed wrong. They say, ah, crap, let's go dive. But because they were late in their response, the Olaf didn't get level 2. Thanatos did get level 2. They easily repelled the dive. Blabber had done a full clear. Wiz had skipped 3 camps. The dive also fails, and then in Fog, they reswap at 4:30, get another kill on Robo, and it becomes, in my opinion, the largest lane swap gap we have ever seen.
Haven't you heard the news, Jat? That's not happening anymore, all right?
Yeah.
Lane swaps are dead.
maybe this
Soon
week.
enough.
The moment you start the swap, the moment you get hit,
Lane swap
Mark Z will do that personally.
One-shot champions.
That's so funny. But what was it 7 errors? You counted it up during the Jet segment last week, and I think it was 7 mistakes.
It
That's
was
so
7
many.
mistakes.
It was quite possibly the worst lane swap I've seen in a really long
The
time.
Cloud9
Everything that could
was
go wrong.
flawless.
Yeah.
They pulled it off great. My favorite moment, though, was actually from 100 Thieves, because if you remember, we had a backdoor, kind of, last weekend. It was a Quid going for the side lane while everybody else is trying to back, and then it's a 4v5 engage from the rest of 100 Thieves. Quid, the hero, man. Quid had an insane performance overall, but like this was game 1 and really just already solidified, they're going to win this series when you see that they're able to stop the backs and still almost win the fight 4v5.
Yeah, and Quid's return to like spring dominance has been amazing to watch. We were kind of wondering how he'd do in Fearless, especially with the meta being cited as one of the reasons why 100 Thieves struggled a bit more last summer. He's played 8 unique champions in 8 of his games, been absolutely stellar for 100 Thieves.
you could probably go through 100 Thieves history and just like start making a tier list of their backdoors, because they've had a few ones throughout. Their one versus Team Liquid like 2 years ago is a great example of that. I know LoL Esports did like a list of all of the greatest backdoors in history. Like that one was just fun because 100 Thieves was playing with their food on that one. I enjoyed that. But speaking of playing with their food and just overall dominance, FlyQuest came to the semifinals by just dominating the competition, and you got to see it through a whole host of means. So like game 2 was a lot of scrapping. And then for me, it was just like basically Bwipo in just being annoying is the best way to put it. And so like the Volibear play that he was like 1v4ing, this is the exact example of it, while his teammates were just dealing with the Ambessa on the back line and then dealing with the turret itself. He was buying so much time and still got what was like, I think a 1.3k healing done with that W bite.
Sometimes it's about sending a message, because I don't think that was the optimal play in the situation. I think he incurred a little bit more risk than necessary, but it gives you the highlight play and it makes you remember his name.
Exactly.
And so TL, it falls to me to talk about TL. And I actually think, even though TL are the LTA North team that struggled the most, I've been really, really impressed with Jan and Core. And I actually wanted to pull this clip from Jan kind of chatting about the Brazilian fans, too, since they've been a highlight of our last week.
It'd be very nice if you guys supported us, instead of that one guy who was screaming at me. So I'm pretty sure that guy had a Jackie Love jersey, and he was like, "This is your daddy" or something. I have no idea what he was saying, but like, it sounded like that.
It's actually really famous, and here's him taking pictures afterwards. He's like, it's really famous. I had them pull this graphic just for fun, the most interesting thing, actually, this is thus far this split. I didn't make the title of the graphic. Don't come for me.
Jackie Love, we have done the test. You are not the father.
Jackie Love has played 10 games to Jan's 11, actually. Just because of formats, he'll probably end up playing a lot more later, at least one more best of 5. But yeah, their numbers like pretty close, right? Yeah.
This is the most Jackie Love thing, being 7 CS up in terms of your opponents and then still being gold down.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what is happening in those games? Jackie Love, it is not my fault.
In fairness, I also love Jackie Love, so
I just love the fan afterwards being like almost apologetically friendly to Jan. Be like, it was just in the spirit of the moment, man. Just thanks for the picture.
Now he's a Team Liquid fan, I bet. He's going to have a Jan jersey next time.
I'm pretty sure he tweeted at me too. But as we wrap up going through all of the, oh my gosh, all of the teams, all 4 North teams won.
That's true.
Okay, you know,
that means.
Yeah, why are you not shaved?
Is it time, Raz? Where's the razor?
Absolutely not. You know what we do to Benedict Arnold's? A public execution!
Oh, come on.
Not here, not when there's nobody here to witness it. Tomorrow when we have a block party to see it go away. You thought you could get off easily?
I'll do it.
For anyone that's confused, Kangas said a South team would beat a North team. Raz said they would not.
Yes, Raz said they would not. Raz,
lost.
everyone wanted you to grow a mustache. I need you to know what you just denied the people.
To the Raz stash.
Will you do it anyway, Raz?
No.
It's worth asking.
Then what's the point of the bet? Okay, so that's going to be tomorrow at the very start, top of waiting room. Execution on stage for our block party. But also there's another award for the Fearless Split. It is the Kia Most Fearless Player. Now, there's a South award and a North award. And since the North did take care of business, South isn't playing any more games. So we can award the South's Most Fearless Player to Robo for playing 11 unique champions throughout the split.
That's a lot of champions.
Look, respect to a top player that's willing to play Cho'Gath and like Olaf and all these things. Robo has always been willing to test his pool. So shout out to Robo out there.
Let's check in on the leaderboard for the LTA North as well. We will have the final weekend of play here. So the best of 3s today and then the best of 5s tomorrow, likely to decide it. This is the current leaders. 3 people tied at 8.
Yeah.
Notably still 3 behind Robo.
True. But they will play at least one more series. The big thing I did want to point out that I mentioned previously is that Quid has played a different champion in every single one of 100 Thieves games, which I just think, again, is really fun. And for anyone who had questions about how well he'd do in Fearless, they've been answered. He's great.
Exactly. And on top of that, for me, a lot of our players kind of prove the point of their champion pool. They've sometimes like coaches or fans would question like, look, you've been playing Alistar or whatever for 5 games in a row, or Cassante 10 games in a row. The champion pools, I feel like for this split have really been showing like a good amount. Like for me, it was been Bwipo. In his champion pool, we got to see Swain in the first leg of the tournament. We got to see his Volibear in the next. Like, he's somebody that will always come out with new picks, and he challenges people to really. First of all, you can't predict him, but you kind of have to try and stop him.
But also shout out to Jan, because in past metas and past formats, when we didn't have Fearless, it's very common for AD carry to get picked very early, and we see 5 champs played by an AD carry in a single split. Jan being tied for most Fearless in the North right now is, I think, really impressive and shows how fun the Fearless draft system is. That we're getting even AD carries up there at the top of the list.
Yeah, and talking to them, it's one of the positions where they are like, thank goodness I can play more things. And Jan has actually always been willing to do that. We saw like the Samira come out for him. He's always kind of had these pocket picks. So for him to be able to bring out variety of champions on stage is really fun.
Yeah, Corn Jan, both a big fan. I actually haven't talked to a pro who will openly say they don't like Fearless. I'm sure there's a couple of them that only play a few champions, but most of them are professionals and they play a ton of stuff. Let's look at the bracket for what we have in store this weekend and what has happened in the past. So this is the Americas bracket. It is the 8-team single elimination bracket to find our split 1 winner. You can see the North absolutely took care of business in that first week, and now we have a all-northern semifinals and finals. Best of 3s, 2 of them today, and then a best of 5 tomorrow.
But it was so close for Team Liquid. It's the Team Liquid and Insternus Estral. I think even though the numbers will be pretty damning, except for that 3-game series that we finally got between TL and Insternus Estral. But as a reminder, the Pain versus 100 Thieves series is also very close. Like, Pain had an early game lead in all those. But still, took care of business, and now we move on to the finals weekend.
Yeah, Cloud9 and Team Liquid will face off in our second series of the day. So for a quick preview, we have casters in the South. What do you guys think?
Hello, we are casters in the South, and we have got to talk about TL a little bit here. I think the elephant in the room is, of course,
Yep.
Has
the
been
Baron
struggling.
steals, the deaths getting caught out. It's been rough.
It has been rough. You know, we know he can play a lot better than he has shown, but he has got to step up, right? And I think every time you make one of these mistakes, it really kind of weighs on you, and it can be in the back of your head every time you come into a big moment, every time you're looking for a big play. Are you thinking about that Baron steal? Are you thinking about that time you get caught? And that can really affect you. But I don't want to pin it all on because all of Team Liquid has room for improvement, besides maybe Yon. Yon's playing pretty damn well.
He's at the top for
he's
sure.
He's at the top. He's the star pupil. But I feel like, Impact has struggled a little bit in Fearless. His Ambessa game did not look great. His Jax game did not look great. APA has had some moments where he's made some mistakes, as has Core. I do think the bot lane has been the shining light. But TL as a whole do need to step up if they want to be able to win.
And they clearly feel that themselves too, because they hit the emergency glass. Spawn was tweeting out after their series win. He's like, I'm scrambling to get on the plane now. I'm flying over there immediately. He didn't say I'm going to save the day, but it's implied he's supposed to come save
But
the
he's
day.
wearing the Superman cape.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like Superman. He's wearing the cape. He's flying over here. Honestly, like, Spawn has had such a big impact on every team that he's coached at Team Liquid through Academy and up into the main team as well. So we will see how quick of an impact, because that has to be like immediately when he lands to clean up a lot of stuff, like you're saying, for Team Liquid. But I don't want to paint this picture like it's everybody looking at Team Liquid, because Cloud9, even in some of their wins versus Loud, their setups around Grub's second pack especially, there are a couple of points where they're kind of getting lazy in their setup for some of these team fights. Even when they had the advantage, they lost a couple team fights, so they also have to be careful.
Yep, I think it's going to be an exciting series, and we'll see how much work Spawn's been able to get done.
Thanks for that, guys. Looking forward to hearing the call later. I think for me, one of the things with Team Liquid, as they illustrated, was Impact, maybe
Yes.
APA not performing, but the team overall, let's look at how much they've dropped off, because they are still in this tournament. So I pulled some stats from the LCS summer split in 2024 when they went undefeated and then lost in Game 4 of the finals to now, and the stats are still okay, actually. The one stat that I would call into attention is it's one we haven't seen before: gold difference change between 14 and 20 minutes. That's how much they are able to increase their gold lead between 14 and 20, which previously was one of the greatest strengths of this team, has definitely been subdued. Their mid game has been a little bit less. They haven't been controlling Rift Heralds, accelerating the lead through turrets. And then you're seeing some of the issues that showed at Worlds appear in 2025.
Yeah, I think the big thing is, again, a lot of meta changes that kind of make that 14 through 20 minute mark a lot more like staged, in terms of you have to get to specific and certain objectives to team fight. And that is where I think TL have kind of struggled in the current meta to find some coordination.
Yeah, on top of that, I think the point that Azael was making as well, overall throughout this split, like, different members have had difficulties. Like, even just zeroing in on APA, last split, even just last year, he was the best mid laner. Like, that has been the case. And now, of course, but he had, of course, gotten cleaned up his play. I thought his last series was great. It was that I think has been really, for me, the primary focus. Where end of last split in summer, I thought he was a top 4, top 3 jungler. Because he is definitely the glue that Team Liquid required. Right now, what we are seeing from him, I think he is way in his own head. A lot of the mistakes are mistakes that we have not seen throughout all of last year, unless if it was like in key moments in big games internationally. We're seeing a lot of mistakes that should be easy to clean up. We'll have to see if we're seeing a different today.
Yeah, and it's hard to convey that in just the stats. A lot of it is the eye test of what he's actually doing, the decisions that he's making in-game, which are the big concern for Team Liquid. Because, I mean, even back to just their last series, Poppy trying to stop the Vi from getting on top of him. He's wasting 2 abilities, and then Vi still gets into the Baron pit and steals the Baron. So it's those types of things that, like, a stat's not going to catch that, but our eyes definitely did, and that's why people are concerned.
And then by contrast, we've talked about TL's kind of lack of coordination in certain things. I actually think, as critical as I was of C9 for not looking coordinated in their team fights, they've looked really great in team fights. And I pulled some comms from last week to take a listen to just hear how clean they are.
They're looking tier 2.
Okay.
Come base.
Hey, Loki, can you look TP behind or something? Oh, he's mid, no?
I'm gonna look TP.
Yeah.
I'm looking guys TP, okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
Guys,
slowly.
Looking.
Okay. Zara's kind of far from this.
Look. Yeah.
Go.
Go.
Look away.
Sejuani.
Yeah.
She's done.
Look, guys,
Loki, wall.
Yeah.
Kai's 1 HP.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's good.
Wow.
Like, look, Kai's out now. Kai's out dead. Nice, guys.
Nice. Give me.
Nice. Go drink.
Okay, pull it out,
guys. They can try steal.
Okay, we don't have jungler. Carry the bush.
And the reason why I pulled these ones specifically is just because you can hear how much Loki and Thanatos are contributing, which I think is a big deal. Like Blabber's talked about how well he gets along with Loki, how Loki really listens to a lot of his calls. And here you can hear them both like participating in the setup of that entire fight.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people would be surprised because coming into this split, not a lot of people were extremely excited for the pickup of Loki. They were even saying Synced was better. But then, of course, what we were seeing, even hearing from Quid when he was talking about who's like the top 3 mid laners of the split, he mentioned Loki as a top 3. That was from his own opinion. He's been performing in lane. The team fights have been great. Thanatos has actually been, for me, the biggest, I guess, glow up because his laning phase has still been strong. But it's the team fighting that you've even seen there, where he is like, he knows his role in every team fight that we've seen. And a lot of that contributed to them taking down FlyQuest in the first leg of the tournament and being at a higher seed and being doing it through team fighting.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching these two bot lanes go against each other, though. It's the history of it all for me. Just the fact that we have Sven and Vulcan playing together again after they actually had a very successful run several years ago. And then CoreJJ and Yon almost sneakily have been together an incredibly long amount of time. It's Core's longest tenured LCS teammate in terms of total games, second to Ruler. So they really have a lot of synergy built up, and you can see multiple championships for the Vulcan Sven duo, multiple Worlds appearances for the CoreJJ and Yon duo. So both of them trying to go against each other to have a shot to go to another international event tomorrow would be pretty awesome.
133 games. You're right. That one was something that I didn't expect that CoreJJ and Yon played together. That's a really cool
It's a lot of games.
But keeping track, Jan's name has been said next to Jackie Love and Ruler today, by the way. Just saying. Just saying. He's doing well.
Said next to.
Context doesn't matter. Context doesn't
Studies
matter.
suggest it may improve.
Look, Jan has been performing really, really well. Again, in a lot of our evaluations of like, what's wrong with Team Liquid? Jan has never come up and has actually bailed them out in a lot of team fights. He and Core, I mean, I think in a lot of these games as well, Core has been an absolute menace roaming around the map as a support. So they've definitely been the bright light on TL.
Yeah, like, he has just been, I guess, the Superman in the game. I know, like, Kobe was talking about Jake being the Superman to the team coming in. But, like, just coming in. Because, like, there were games internationally where, like, especially the Pain series at Worlds, where you're like, oh, this one's going to be a tough one. You have a loss in the lead and all these. But then Jan hard carries the game off his Kai'Sa. You even saw it in the last series where, like, his Xayah, his Kai'Sa play, when you see him have the kills and playing that well and that focused, you're like, they can just win off of his gameplay alone.
Yeah, even the loss, they almost won it because of his Kai'Sa.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's look at the schedule for today and I think the rest of the weekend. So that Team Liquid series is going to be second. First up, 100 Thieves versus FlyQuest. The times are just an estimation. At the conclusion of the 100 Thieves versus Fly series, we will immediately be playing Cloud9 versus TL, and that will give us the two teams for the best of 5 final tomorrow. But now let's turn our attention to 100 Thieves versus FlyQuest. Sniper understands the assignment. I think he needs to do a lot better this time than he did in the past against Bwipo.
Yeah, I mean, the last time these two teams met was not a fun time for Sniper. It was basically FlyQuest lane swapping and then keeping Sniper down, and then Bwipo absolutely owning him in side lanes. But this is, our actual #1 seed in 100 Thieves versus the team that everyone is still saying by default is #1 in FlyQuest.
Look, I'm just saying, if you look at the bracket, only one of those teams has an actual #1 next to them. 100 Thieves earned that, and I think a lot of people have just been writing them off so far coming into this series, thinking FlyQuest are favorites still regardless.
Yeah.
And yes, FlyQuest look very good, but I think there's still an argument that 100 Thieves can still win this and can continue to show that they deserve that #1 seed spot.
They're just hard to predict as a team, right? They came into this one having a struggle versus, if I remember, DSG. They had a little bit of a struggle versus Pain, but then they had a monstrous performance versus Team Liquid to get that seed, of course, and take that BO1 seed tiebreaker versus Cloud9. They're a team that I think is really creative within the draft. Certain players are playing excellently. Like you look at Eyla, who has had a real glow up since the last year. FBI, who's been playing really damn well, I think, in every game that they've had. And of course, the name that we kept mentioning is Quid.
Yeah, and these are highlights from the losers bracket final of the LCS championship last year. So this was the dominance that FlyQuest had over them in that series.
But important to note that the roster has slightly changed for 100 Thieves. So everything that you're seeing on here was last year's version of 100 Thieves. They did make a roster swap with FBI coming in, and they have looked like a much stronger team. So I don't think that what you see on your screen right here is going to be the same. Now, that's not a preview of what this match coming up is going to look like.
Yeah, and for me, it definitely comes down to blood, right? Because we're gonna bring up the combined kills per minute leaderboard, right? Where we do have the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks going up in the standings, surpassing LGD. But 100 Thieves are still up there, even after their series where they had a comparatively lower combined kills per minute. I think it was like at about 0.9, 0.8 in between there.
Something like that.
Thank you, Rez. And I think the big thing now in this meta is that there is so much more team fighting, right? And I do think that is 100 Thieves' window, despite the fact that FlyQuest are still really good team fighters, that is their window in overcoming FlyQuest in the series.
It definitely is. I think the comparison, the contrast is going to be what makes this fight. It's like whenever you talk about a boxing match or an MMA fight, it's like the styles make the fight in both these teams. She's already posing up. That's not what I'm talking about.
You can see it on camera.
You will lose this fight. But anyways, it's the stylistic differences between these teams where FlyQuest is the most controlled team. They will consistently have the highest, of course, LTA in terms of major leads in a game. Like they will consistently have a large lead, and then when they have that lead, they will end the game. They will win with that lead that they've been able to attain.
That's crazy.
And so even just watching their games, you get to kind of witness how strong they are at being able to control the map, whereas 100 Thieves will try and do the opposite and trying to drag you into the mud. Historically, as we mentioned, that has not looked good for 100 Thieves. I think the tweaks that 100 Thieves have made them a little bit more of like a smarter team in the mid game, but we need to see consistency from this team today.
Yeah, we do. Bwipo has also been performing well.
Yeah.
When it doesn't go well for Bwipo, it's also one of the times it doesn't go well for FlyQuest because he is a relatively high variance player. He's had quite the experience over in the South. Also, almost extending the same things that he was showing when he was talking about streaming scrims over here in the North.
Yeah, it was really fun to see Bwipo tweet this out and then see players come out with responses being like, oh my gosh, Bwipo is actually amazing. He helped coach me. It's been great. He's been coaching a bunch of people in solo queue. I know I believe he visited the Loud facility as well. We're going to have a little feature on that later. But yeah, he's really, in this case, practicing what he was preaching with like, I want the entire region to improve. And yeah, he's done that through coaching and reaching out to a lot of Brazilian players.
You just can't hate this guy. I mean, it's after practice. Like, he just spent all day playing League. He's going to go back and help other people get better at League. That's the type of ambassador that you want to have for your sport, especially when we're in this kind of cross-conference play right now, or cross-region play with the two conferences. So I think it's really cool that Bwipo's doing that.
I will say, you can hate him.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can.
So 9 months ago, a lot of people did. So there's levels of Bwipo.
He's taking the ammunition away from
currently. He's currently taking the ammunition away. Let's pull up Sniper versus Bwipo, because for me, this is the most important matchup of the series, because I think it was the most important matchup the last time that they played. So Bwipo has been very good so far this year. He had that highlight solo kill against Surdy earlier on. He's had the Swain game. He's had a lot of giant performances. But specifically for me, I'd say he's been a high performer, and Sniper has not necessarily shown me that much so far this split. This is their head-to-head in their career against each other, and this would include that series that they played last year. 7 wins to 1. And massive differences in the laning phase. Bwipo has absolutely dominated Sniper in this matchup.
Look, Today wasn't the first paternity test we've done. It wasn't the first one. Probably won't be the last one. We walked down this path before. What's going to be funny is that Sniper will always have that inbuilt confidence that like, look, I do not care about history. I do not care about the past. It will happen again, and I will be out, like, come out on top this time.
Yeah, and I want to show this one as well because these are just their stats within 2025 when they haven't played against each other. Still quite Bwipo favored because I think this shows that Sniper is actually having a bit of a down year compared to the way he started last split, and 100 Thieves has been getting away with it. But I feel like if Bwipo is going to be super far ahead of his lane opponent, that's when FlyQuest becomes a little bit unbeatable, which is why I really need to watch this matchup for the series.
But I just don't know if it's going to matter because I don't think that like Sniper is the win condition for the team. I think the FBI doing well, Quid doing well, that matters more.
And another thing, too, is like I do think that there's going to be an issue about one player having consistency in champion pool. But if we talk about champion pool, we have to talk about mid lane. It's Quid versus Quad. The top two mid laners in the LTA with just A, Player of the Week champions, or B, the fact that they're able to get series MVP and stuff like this. But if you look at their champion pool, you've already mentioned this, Emily, just like how Quid has played a different champion every game.
Yeah, and not only that, but I think you can also just see their varying styles, right? Where Quad has the 2 ADs and then a lot of mages. You still have the melee champions that we kind of know Quid for a bit more. The Ambessa and the Galio would fit in there too. And I think that is the big thing for me is also having Quid open up and be able to play a variety of things for this 100 Thieves team in a lot of fights. His Victor game was the one I was most nervous about, and he was phenomenal in that.
Yeah, there's going to be really interesting matchups in the mid and the top lane in this series. And Lau, she caught up with both top laners ahead of the series, so let's listen to that.
Hi everyone, it's Lau, and we are here with your 2 favorite top laner for this first match. Bwipo and a Sniper, thank you for joining us in this preview because Sniper, you are coming in a first seed, but everyone is still like, you know, favoring FlyQuest for this series. Do you think 100 Thieves is maybe underrated?
I wouldn't really say we're like underrated, to be honest, because we are like very inconsistent, you know? And I feel like FlyQuest is a team that's like pretty consistent, to be honest, but if we play our game today and if we play our best, then we'll definitely be able to beat them. So I'm very excited to get my revenge against Bwipo today, hopefully. That's the plan.
We are so excited too because Bwipo, you were the Brazilian part, the Brazilian representative today. And do you feel any pressure knowing the Brazilian fans, knowing you know, the crowd? How do you feel about it?
No pressure. I'm just happy that people are cheering for us. I think ultimately it's a privilege, and every time I go on a stage where I know people like to watch me, I feel more confident to play my own game. So for me, the most important thing for today is just to play my own game because I feel like 100 Thieves need their pace to be a certain wavelength, and whenever I can throw wrenches into that, they usually struggle as a team. So I feel like if I can get a good champion to make sure that's hard for them to do, I think it'll be very, very comfortable for us, and I think I can take the brunt of what they're trying to accomplish. So that's my focus. I'm pretty confident that I can do that for today, and that's why I said I think it'll just be a good way to start our final weekend.
When a Sniper was talking about the revenge, I need your prediction for today.
My prediction? I would say it's a 2-0 if the drafts go our way. I do think if they can get a good draft where they can play to their strengths, 2-1 is possible, but I have a really hard time believing we're going to lose 2 games today. Obviously, the fun of competition is that every team can win and every team can lose, so I'm looking forward for a good match, and hopefully we can keep it exciting for everyone, at the very least.
Awesome. 2-0, Sniper. What are you thinking about that, and predictions for today?
I mean, I definitely wouldn't say we're going to 2-0 off the bat, you know? I feel like Bwipo was saying as well, if we have a good draft and we're playing what we're comfortable on, then it could potentially be a 2-0. It could also be a 2-1, but at the end of the day, like I said, we got a good draft that will be comfortable, and we'll definitely have the advantage over them, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, I honestly love entertaining the fans as well, just like Bwipo does. And that's like one of my goals as like a professional player, I guess. So I also love doing that too, you know? So I'm very excited for that.
Awesome. We are so excited for that. 100 Thieves against FlyQuest is coming up next.
Thank you, Lau. We have a few seconds left. Let's look at our predictions. I'm still with the quotation marks #1, as is everyone but Candace.
Oh, yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, I said 100 Thieves take a game.
They're the #1 seed, damn it. Put respect on them. Everyone's hyping up FlyQuest too much. I think Thieves can do it.
Let's hope for a good series. Let's get into the games.
Hola, Brazil. Hello, LTA North. Please welcome to the stage the bloodiest team in the world and the #1 seed from the LTA 100 Thieves.
Coming in as the #1 seed from LTA North, 100 Thieves looking to prove the doubters wrong that are still thinking that FlyQuest is the top dog. Coming into this weekend, they'll definitely have plenty of people to prove that to. I am among the group that still sees FlyQuest as the Titan to take down, but the Thieves are ready to prove everybody wrong. They already upset to get here and be the #1 seed in the first place. They're looking to do it again and earn themselves a spot in the best-of-5 finals tomorrow for their opportunity to go even further into not just cross-conference, but international competition and make their way to first stand in Korea next month. 100 Thieves are a fast, furious type of team, and I feel like it's exactly what Bwipo said. They got to do that here today.
De todos os tempos, seed 3 da LTA Norte. Vamos fazer muito barulho para FlyQuest.
And now their opponents taking the stage. The squad that everybody is still thinking are the ones to beat coming into finals weekend. It is FlyQuest. Yes, they did drop to C9 earlier in the bracket, back in LA, back in LTA North, to only come in as one of the lower seeds here competing in our cross-conference play, but a lot of people still got them as favorites. So we got Azael joining me in the booth now after doing the intros. Well done, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited, man. And it really does feel interesting here for FlyQuest, because now it's kind of like the shoe is on the other foot. You know, going into Worlds last year, they were the #1 seed. Everyone's like, yeah, you won LCS, but the real #1 seed is TL. Now it's the inverse.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my first time going to Brazil, and I like it a lot here so far.
The fans have been pretty awesome, I would say. Like, they were booing us when we were going on stage. I don't know about you guys, but it happened to us too. It kind of like pumped me up.
It was like a nice experience to see how passionate they are about their teams.
The crowd was going crazy. I was like, is my life over? Like, why is everyone against me?
It was really nice to see how many of them were fans of like C9. And I'm sure a lot of them fans of TL too, but it's like a lot of them were fans of the NA teams. It's kind of like why you're a pro player. It's like you really want to win in front of like the fans.
People will make Sniper and I rivals just because we're pretty close in terms of skill level coming into the league.
We're pretty close? We're pretty good. Yeah, who's better than the other?
I don't know. But people saw us coming in as the next like generation, I guess.
At least from the start of my career, it's always felt like TL was like the hardest team to beat.
We were always the top team contending for the winning. We kind of know each other how he wanna play, how I wanna play. He's always like playing like beast.
Thank you.
Sometimes too much, but it's okay. You cannot copy it.
I definitely prefer playing towards the crowds to just entertain the fans in a way. But I mean, someone won Rookie of the Year and I didn't. So like, maybe that's what's holding me back, you know? Maybe I need to be like nonchalant, like Massu is.
Sniper for sure. He's like a good comedian. And I'm just like more reserved, play the game and focus on it. And
Wait,
I don't really have...
Are you saying I'm not focused on the game, bro? Hello?
No.
Sniper's into the back. He wants to go after Sejuani. Jumps back up the wall. Sniper gets one on Karaoke. 200 Thieves.
Since this is the new season of the American League, I want to make a really big impression for all the fans who didn't cheer for me in the past. Now it's time for you to join for JJ Trade.
It's not easy for me to win over a Brazilian crowd or a crowd in general because I'm just not really like a showman.
Kind of same for me. I hope like APA is doing something good.
I feel like it's going to be in Massu's favor just because they have Bwipo on their team and he's Brazilian.
We have home court advantage at this point. Being the first to win something, even if later on another team dominates or we don't win again, you set the new standard.
All I'm gonna say is this guy already has a title under his belt, so like it's my turn now, you know, like we can take turns.
One of the things I always wanted to do as a professional player is like always be remembered. If we win here, I will be more remembered in the South America too.
That's true.
To the rhythm of carimbo, from bada to samba. No, the rhythm don't let me go. Veneno, let me go. To the timing of the tempo, close my eyes, I'm so high. No, the rhythm don't let me go.
They have Bwipo on their team and he's Brazilian.
We have home court advantage.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LTA. It's time for our finals weekend here in Brazil as we're going to figure out which one of our 4 remaining teams we are sending to Korea for first stand, the inaugural first stand next month.
Some might even say it's the first stand.
The first stand, first squared first stand. It'll be a good time, but only one team gets to go. After last week's
first.
Oh yeah, only the team that comes first gets to go to the first squared first stand. You better believe it. And you're going to see it here first. So the thing is, after last week's competition, all 4 Southern teams were eliminated by their Northern counterparts. The North now, those 4 teams have to duke it out. The first matchup is going to be 100 Thieves versus FlyQuest, a best of 3. FlyQuest, of course, being the team that got upset by Cloud9. Everybody was expecting FlyQuest and TL to kind of come into this cross-conference play being number 1 and 2. They weren't, and now they got to make sure they don't fall into that same type of a trap up against 100 Thieves, who have shown themselves to be capable.
Absolutely. I mean, 100 Thieves have been a very strong team fighter. That is what everyone I talk to on the pro teams is telling me, you know, how good this team is just mechanically in 5v5. It's really suiting their style, how heavily you've got a team fight in this season. But we're already ripping through the picks and bans. It's first pick, Jayce here for 100 Thieves. Varus grabbed up by FlyQuest. And we have some of the usual suspects against FlyQuest on the ban list. You know, Ivor and Cassio Poppy, all picks that are pretty highly prized by FlyQuest and thus pretty highly prized bans against them.
Meanwhile, over on the other side, Skarner banned, Yone banned, Callista banned, all of these kind of among those usual suspects like you're talking about. These champions rarely get to see the Rift itself, but the Varus locked in like you're talking about. We got the Vi locked in alongside it. I always get a little bit worried when I see the Nidalee hovers last longer than a second. I never want to see that champion. But
and you usually are not a Vi fan, but you have told me that Inspired has a Vi card.
Yeah, Inspired gets the Vi card. Ever since he had that crazy 1v3 triple kill a couple of years ago in one of his games in the enemy jungle, I feel like this guy is always finding great angles on the champion. He's very, very good at maximizing his farm while also making plays to get the team ahead. Over on the other side, we're going to see the Corki picked up. Remember, this could be a flex into either mid or AD carry position alongside the Sejuani in the jungle for River.
Yeah, it's actually the 3rd Sejuani game now for River in this split. He has been playing it quite a lot. You know, when they played against TL, he actually prioritized taking away the tank junglers from Umpty, and here going to be going with the same. Going with that Sejuani. They do have a Jayce as 1 solo lane. We don't know if Corki's going to be mid or bot, but I am assuming it will will be bought for now, as it kind of pretty commonly is. Cassante left up, though, for Bwipo, and he is not going to be busting out anything too crazy. You can tell that they're still worried about this being a mid-lane Jayce, because Ambessa is the 4th ban there for FlyQuest, so concerned about any potential bad matchups there for Bwipo in the top lane.
Yeah, they want to make sure, and we even heard Bwipo kind of talking about this in the interview that he had with Sniper and Lau before the series began, saying that 100 Thieves needs to play at a certain pace if they want to win. He just wants to be able to throw wrenches into that plan, because if they can't hit that pace, they're going to struggle a lot. So if he can keep Sniper off of something like an Ambessa, something that can go a little bit crazy and make the game messy, well, that'll just fit right into FlyQuest's plan. So banning that one away. Also now the Taliyah going to be banned out by 100 Thieves. Final ban of the draft for FlyQuest, Pantheon.
Yep, Pantheon support becoming very popular. We have seen Eyla play it, had a pretty good game on it. And, you know, Sniper's is not really known for his Jayce. He hasn't brought it out yet this split. Did play it some, you know, last year, but not a tremendous amount. And so I do think they are thinking there's a higher than normal chance of this being a Quid Jayce. He has not played the Jayce either yet this split, but he was pretty well known for it last year. Definitely a strong AD mid player. And that is kind of, I think, Quid style. You know, he is the more aggressive of the Quid Quad matchup here. You know, he is more the kind of melee champion specialist, where Quad I see more as that controlled style player who really specializes in scaling well, you know, in absorbing blows early on and in dominating in team fights.
Okay, let's see what FlyQuest wants to go with here. Unlike the draft of 100 Thieves, they don't really have any flex in their first 3 picks, so we know where everything's going. They are going to draft the mid laner 4th pick, saving that last slot for support, and it'll be Quad piloting the Azir.
Yeah, Azir going to be locked in here, looking pretty standard over on their side. Akali would not surprise me. Akali a pretty common matchup into the Azir. Mel could also be interesting, but Akali is something that we've seen for a couple years now as an answer. People do like this matchup quite a lot, but of course, we don't know exactly where they are going to go, so I'm just going to stop talking about hovers as they do lock in the Rell. Of course, it could still just be Corki versus Azir mid. Something that we know, but I'm not going to say love.
Yeah, I definitely don't love that one.
You know it, you tolerate it.
Yeah, I don't even know if I do that, honestly, at this point, Isaac. It's been a lot of years playing League of Legends, but one thing that I am noticing on 100 Thieves is a severe lack of magic damage. Ooh. There we go. There's the antidote to the problem. Sylas locked in. Whenever you see Sylas locked, the first thing you think of is what ults does he have available to steal? Vi ult could be a way to enter into the fight. Varus ulti for extra pick potential, and we know that Azir's ult can be a big team fight tool as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad ults, but it's not amazing ones either. Like you said, Varus can be used as a pick tool, but again, it's most of the power in the Varus ult is actually popping the blight stacks, right? You know, and doing that. You know, you do have a good way in with the Vi ult. The Azir ult's not bad. Braum ult, not bad. But there's not any of the like really premium ones like Alistar or Gnar or things like that that are really going to make you want that very heavily. Maokai as well, you know, another one of those top ones. But this is just Quid's style. You know, he really does thrive on these melee champions, on these aggressive champions. He's played Ambessa mid, he's played Yone mid, he's already played Sylas, he's played Akali, he's played Galio. He wants to be playing a lot of these melee champions that can be the playmakers for the team. And I do think Quid is at his best playing that style. And we have seen him this split, really, I want to say, look like he is back in MVP form. He has been playing out of his mind. And 100 Thieves are such a threat, not just because of Quid, you know, being at that level. It's because of the additional threat now of the bot lane. I feel like last year it was so much about, yeah, Quid and River have got to carry or else they're not going to be able to get it done. Now Eyla is playing so much better. The addition of FBI has really leveled them up in the bot lane, and I feel like they have true second carry threats here, which has made their team fight such a problem for other teams in the LTA.
And on the other side, when you're looking at the bot lane of FlyQuest, when you're looking at Massu, when you're looking at the North American player that I think impressed international audiences the most last year at Worlds with his performances, with his own standout mechanical play, there's a lot of carry potential on both of these teams. I do agree with you when you're talking about Quid being back in MVP form. When we're talking about Quid and Quad, I think we're talking about the 2 best mid laners in the North.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's not even a question at this time. You know, I don't think APA or Loki and any of the other guys that are in that top 4 have been on their level so far this split. Of course, it is just the beginning of the year, so we'll see if that story changes. But for now, you know, these are the teams that people are looking at for those elite mid-jungle duos. These are the ones that everyone is really paying attention to. And I think it's going to be such an exciting battle as a result. You know, we have some of the best bot lanes in the league, some of the best mid jungles in the league. It is going to be a real slugfest here, I think. 100 Thieves just love playing at a very high pace and really pushing the tempo and drawing their opponents into an absolute brawl where they can thrive.
And FlyQuest, on the other hand, more than happy to play it more slowly, more than happy to just allow things move forward according to expectation and not rock the boat too much. Because as long as FlyQuest aren't completely losing the plot in the early game, they do a great job playing as a team, securing mid-game advantages, and snowballing even minor leads into greater things.
Absolutely, and I mean, I would say they're our most disciplined team. You know, when we look back towards last weekend's games, they were a team that took no risks. And Bwipo, you know, has been such a big part of their success. I would say Bwipo is the biggest mismatch with Sniper in this series. I am looking towards him and seeing what he is going to be cooking up. He has been bringing out all kinds of different stuff. The Garen, the Volibear, and he is, I think it's like 4 or 5 champions that he's the only top laner in all of the LTA to have played it so far this split. He really is kind of playing his own game, walking his own style, and succeeding so much while doing it, which just brings this different element to a series like this that is so hard to prepare for. You can't practice against Bwipo except by playing against Bwipo.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I really like about Fearless. I'm a big fan of this format, of the increased champion diversity that we get out of having everything banned out from the previous games. And Bwipo just seems to be loving the effects of it. We'll see how much he loves this top lane, obviously, early on versus Jayce as a melee champion. You're not supposed to have a whole lot of fun, but I will be interested in seeing how well Sniper does on this Jayce that you already mentioned back in draft. Even though it's something he's played before, it's not something we've seen from him so far this year. I want to see how sharp it is. I want to see how well he can deal with Bwipo. I want to see if we can get some of that killer instinct that could give 100 Thieves the edge they need to make this game fast and make this game bloody.
Yeah, I mean, I think that where Sniper has leveled up so far this year is his team fighting. I do think he's more consistently on the same page with the team, but I do think he has kind of lost a little bit of that kind of craziness, that aggression that endeared him to so many people at the beginning of his time in the LCS last year when he came in as a rookie. He was just solo killing people left and right. So far, though, the top lane going very well for him, and that is a good trade from Quid.
Back in mid, yeah, Quid just knocking Quad down to barely over 100 HP. The Emperor still having a potion to eat there. Quick shot of the crowd here in Sao Paulo with the Thunder Sticks ready to go. The crowd has been just electric so far playing here in Brazil. I'm loving the amount of energy that you get every time any kind of a play goes off. It's a ton of fun to be around.
Yeah, and I've got to give a shout out to the crowd, to the fans coming in and supporting these North teams. You know, all the South teams got eliminated. I wasn't sure how excited they were going to be to cheer for the Northern squads. This place is completely packed. The fans are having a lot of fun enjoying the games, and it's been cool to hear from the fans, you know, just how excited they seem to be for these games.
I love the preview that we got during waiting room, the look back at the fan telling Jan that, oh, hold on now 1 second. Okay, all right. I was slightly concerned because I knew that Sniper still had the knockback. I was like, hold on, what if he knocks Bwipo a little bit further back away from the turret? But looks like River's showing up now. 100 Thieves look for what could be a dive, but Bwipo sniffs it out. He doesn't want anything to do with this. Gets himself far enough away. Should be able to safely take the recall here as Sniper's just going to keep on forcing this wave down. Bwipo retreats, and he'll be able to teleport right back into lane.
Oh, yeah, this is a little bit of an aggressive teleport location for him, but of course, the early teleports take an eternity. Just wanted to make sure that Sniper was a little bit scared, saying, oh, hey, maybe someone's coming, you got to back off. So Sniper, unfortunately, gets that wave very low, but doesn't actually kill any of it, so he is going to lose that entire wave. Not going to get the experience or gold from that. Bwipo did have Inspired running straight up towards top, so if Sniper overstayed, could have looked for a punish, but of course we know that did not happen. And that's something that when I talk to 100 Thieves and their coaching staff, that they have really talked about with Sniper is that, yeah, okay, maybe he's not as crazy, he doesn't have quite as many individual pop-off moments, but he's way more measured in his play. And one of the things that they have really credited him with is when he can create advantages, he's much more likely to keep that advantage than he was last year because he's paying a lot more respect to the map movements.
River making another attempt, this time over in mid. Shows up, but doesn't really get any summoners or anything of value from Quad as Inspired. Also going to pass through the area here. Eyla hanging out nearby. Supports have taken their first recalls, so their rotations are also going to bring them towards the mid lane, as neither one of the junglers is really going to find an opportunity here just yet.
And Inspired, we have got to talk about this guy. He has been on a mission for FlyQuest, as we are going to have a bit of a skirmish here.
Yeah, the full engage on the Quad, who has to flash away. Immediately now returning with some damage of his own to the soldiers. Quid down to 200 HP, has to make some distance of his own. So Summoner Spell blown there on the mid laner of FlyQuest. Quad losing that one should open up opportunity for a return gank here from 100 Thieves.
Yeah, it looked like Eyla flashed as well, but Inspired perfect last week. Not a single death. He was like 0-0 and 19 on Sejuani. That is the perfect Sejuani scoreline. Not taking a single kill. And then he had a monster Lilia game, 7-0 and 10, if I recall correctly. This guy has just been so consistent, such a monster for the squad. He has won MVPs across multiple leagues, and he just plays so consistently at a high level that it really is incredible to watch. And picking up right where he left off last year, just trying to be that big threat for FlyQuest.
And if we're talking about things that are a joy to watch, down here in the bot lane, Massu and Busio just controlling things during the laning phase. You can see a two-wave advantage, even with the extra minions left to farm here for FBI and Eyla. And now with Inspired showing up, they might just try to force the issue, but the wave clear is enough. FBI and Eyla are going to stay safe for now, but 52-39, nearly a 300 gold lead. That's a champion kill worth of gold just in the minion advantage from Massu early on.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting that straight up 2v2 matchup, and while Sniper has had pressure in top lane, every time we go up there, it feels like he's beating Bwipo up. The farm is dead even, so he's not really opening up that big gold lead. He's very close to taking the first plate on top, which would be a nice little boon to him, but it's been about the FlyQuest bot lane, who, when you talk to all the bot lanes in the league, this is the one they are really pointing to as the best in the league right now. So much credit given to how Busio actually plays on the map, how he moves around the map with his team. His roams are very, very impactful and consistent, is what I hear most from those bot laners. And the thing that you always look towards when, okay, this guy roams, we'll just punish his AD. But that is something that Massu gets a tremendous amount of credit for never being out of position, for really being so hard to punish. Every time he's left alone in the 1v2, he seems to know exactly how far he can go. He gives up the minimum and never really puts himself in a spot to get fully punished.
And you can see those bot laners now switching up to the top side of the map. Massu will arrive there first. Observers pan down here to the bottom lane to show the wave that got crashed by FBI and Eyla, as they made sure to get that one in before they took the recall of their own. So now FBI will be arriving up into the top lane to mirror Massu's movements, as Sniper and Bwipo will take their places down on the bottom half of the map. Now, important to note, since the Dragon was taken first by Inspired, and then shortly thereafter the first set of grubs was taken by River, it's a 1-for-1 even trade on those neutral objectives. But normally, if they're taken at the same time, the timers are going to leave them staggered. Yeah. Since the takes were staggered, those second spawns are going to be nearly identical.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, if it just results in another trade, or if both teams are going to try to commit towards the grubs. 6 grubs, obviously very, very valuable. But thus far, it has felt like a FlyQuest-paced game, right? This has not felt like a 100 Thieves game.
Oh, but now the immediate engage coming out from River. Quad is in danger. Tries to get himself back away. Stun back up from Eyla, but it's first blood over to Bwipo in the meantime. Looks like a problem over here in the mid lane. A 1-for-1 trade so far, as Eyla's going to be knocked down next, and FlyQuest make it a 2-for-1 trade.
And Bwipo really making the difference there. They had the extra man showing up, and they couldn't quite burst down Quad. They got him so incredibly low, but the heal from Busio, the Guardian from Busio, all of this making the difference to have Quad survive at very low health, pump out a ton of damage before he went down, and really allowing them to get that big edge. But there is a cost down on the bot side, because Sniper was farming plates. He's pushing in waves, and we'll see if he's going to be able to get any sort of an edge as a result of it.
Yeah, I love the fact that Bwipo is ready to go for it, but a nice punish from Sniper, like you're talking about, to keep that gold pretty even. Let's take another look at how this started. Both teams knew something was happening here.
Exactly, but it's really the reaction here from Bwipo. He gets up there so much faster. You can see that stolen Azir ult, but then Inspired. The peel comes through, in comes Busio. There's the Guardian. He's blocking damage as well from Eyla. Throws out that heal. All of that really buying time for Quad to get a lot of damage down onto Quid before he dies. Yes, FBI arrives, but it is too little, too late. And there's, I think, Bwipo's family cheering him on in the crowd. It was really cool to see them coming in.
I love to see that, man. Cheering on Bwipo as he's making the moves to get his team up to a 1-kill lead here just 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, Bwipo's mom, born in Brazil, lives in Belgium, so coming back here to be able to watch the games in Brazil, very cool kind of, crossing of worlds moment.
Yeah. back to where it all began.
Exactly.
And here we are with FlyQuest and 100 Thieves still neck and neck here in this game with about 30 seconds until we get our second round of those neutral objectives. FlyQuest only need a single kill further in order to secure the feat of warfare for themselves. Both teams still needing a couple more to get those neutral objective feats, and with the still, what, 3.5 minutes that's on the clock until the turret plating goes down, I think we're still a ways away from some fancy shoes for either one of these squads, but honestly, Isaac, it's been a pretty quiet early game.
Yeah, it really has, and you know, as I was saying, I do think that is FlyQuest's preferred pace, right? 100 Thieves is the team that is known as just ramping it up into this insanity and forcing them to fight after fight after fight after fight, and they have so much practice doing this because that is how they scrim. That is how they practice. This is a team that will just fight you every second of every game. And FlyQuest plays that more controlled, measured style here. It's 100 Thieves, though, on the grubs, looking to see if they can actually threaten to get this 6 grubs here. But it is FlyQuest that had push in mid, and they're getting push in top. So Inspired just looking to steal one away.
Okay, Inspired's going to secure that first one. River's still hanging around now. He'll be the thief. Inspired has used his smite charge on that first grub to guarantee it. So now River should be able to jump in, guarantee at least one for himself. FlyQuest is just calling it. They're saying, all right, you can have the other 2. It doesn't matter. As long as we get at least one, you're going to stop them from hitting the full 6 for the power of all the baby grubbies. You're going to stop them from getting the credit towards the feet. They're fine just giving them 5. I feel like if you can't fight for the full 3, you know they're going to get Void Mites one way or the other. So the difference between 4 and 5, you're willing to let it go to take priority over the Drake Pit instead.
Exactly. I think this is absolutely the right play. You know, you just take away the 1 grub. As you say, they get no feet for it. They run down. They get a dragon of their own. They deny the 6. This is definitely a win for FlyQuest, as they are now 1 kill away from the feat of warfare. You know, 1 objective away from getting that one as well. So they're now quite close to a potential fancy feat upgrade.
You know, I looked at it the other day because I was trying to figure it out. What were the names of the other feats? Because Feat of Warfare is the kill one.
There's Feat of Objectives and Feat of
Tower.
Killing Tower.
Yeah, that's what I realized, because I looked for it. They don't have fancy names. The other ones don't. It's just Feat of Killing Stuff and Feat of Tower. I really wish that they would give them a name. Or maybe I don't know what I'm looking for, and maybe I just completely missed it.
Dragon Slaying Feat.
But, I mean, that one does sound really cool, right? Feat of Dragon Slaying.
The Feat of Destruction for the towers.
Yeah, that would sound really awesome.
All right, well, we just figured it out.
All right, well, we've got them named.
That does sound pretty cool. The Feat of Destruction.
And the Feat of Dragon Slaying. Even though it also counts for weird space slugs, but you know what? We'll take that sometime.
Feat of Monster Slaying.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
Monster Slaying feat.
Yeah, Monster Slaying, that works.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Cool.
Let's do it. Cool.
Yeah, put it in the game.
With
Ship
that.
it, Freak.
Put it on the wiki.
Yeah.
Freak, let's do it, buddy. Let's get that in there. Hold on. Bwipo's getting in there. Going in after Sniper. Hits him there with a Pathmaker, but you're still just Cassante unless you go all out. There's no real kill threat on the guy, and he doesn't want to fully force that here just yet. Busio getting stunned up. River commits the Glacial Prison. Follow-up from Eyla and Quid. They got the damage, and Busio was just a little bit too far in harm's way. Meanwhile, Sniper going to get taken all out, all in, all day. Feat of Warfare, FlyQuest.
They're going to grab it. Nicely done. Making a counterpunch up on that top side, and it is the bigger kill because now there's going to be some plates to be able to grab up here potentially before the does fall down. But it was at that tower. FBI trying to push up mid lane here. And Busio, even with the Merc Treads and even with that early wall getting thrown up, was still able to be CC'd forever and knocked down. But FlyQuest, again, just feel like they're getting that little bit extra.
And just that little bit, this is what we were talking about back at the start of the game. FlyQuest, they don't need to have the explosive, chaotic early game. You build a very modest lead, you plant that seed, and you grow it into a big, beautiful tree.
It's a big, wide Bwipo.
Yes, a big, wide Bwipo tree. As here's how Busio's tree got cut down in its prime.
Yeah, I mean, Busio here, you know, the E is pretty well timed. He throws out the ulti, and then right when he's going to get stunned, he knows it. But the follow-up here is just immaculate. The CC chain, pretty much nothing Busio could do. You could see Massu moving over, you know, seeing if he could actually hop out to safety, but likes to hold on to the flash, and I think that was the correct choice. Once Quid got in, he was always going to go down. And then back up towards this top side, it's just Inspired sneaking into the brush. And surprise, you get caught checking that bush. Got spotted by the sweeper. Easy Q to start it off. He flashes away. The ulti is there to follow. Inspired so good at never overcommitting on these abilities. Always seems to have the answer.
And I feel like the flash there from Sniper was a bit of a panic. The Vault Breaker had already been used to be right on top of him. You flash away. You're flashing out of a brush. He's chasing you with that ulti every time.
And you can hear the crowd there with the Bwipo chants. Definitely getting some of that home field advantage here.
I mean, I love that, man. Bwipo was even like tweeting tweeting earlier on in the week talking about wanting to help the LTA South teams, being like, hey, anybody want to work on some stuff? Let's talk about how you can improve your game. This guy's just all about the building aspect of the leagues, of the conferences, of everything. And I feel like in a time where we're kind of merging the two regions, the two conferences together, that is just doing so much for him to build an identity, build a reputation for himself and for FlyQuest.
I agree, and I think it's very much the thought process of, rising tides raise all ships, right?
Yeah.
What makes the league stronger makes Bwipo stronger because he is then better competition. I think it's really that thought process, which is something that I definitely agree to. And it's one of those things where sometimes people can feel like, it's right to just hoard information and not practice against the best teams and try to hide everything, but that only gets you so far, right? And it is by, improving your opponents that you also are able to improve yourself.
I mean, it was his same thought process, his same rationale for the streaming scrims thing, right? He's like, look, we'll tell you what we're doing. We just want to make sure that everybody's getting better, so we're all improving at the same time. And now it looks like 100 Thieves are going after the Rift Herald. There is no attempt from FlyQuest to try to come in and stop this one. Bwipo moving back up to the tier 1 turret here as FlyQuest do have Quad just lone sieging that tier 1 in the bottom lane. Bwipo interfering with 100 Thieves' efforts in the top side to guarantee the first turret bottom. Meanwhile, the dive back in mid thanks to Inspired. Now Bwipo here with the top side going in for the 1v2. Needs to take out Quid or Sniper to try to turn it into an even fight. Both are low. Nobody's dead just yet. Bwipo looking to get away. He finds the third and Tofo's truck. You gotta be kidding me. Bwipo is wide. And 100 Thieves died a 1v2 for the big man top side.
What a play from Bwipo in the top side, pulling off the monster outplay in the 1v2, and FlyQuest making more plays down on bot.
We aren't done. River's got to try to get away now as he and Eyla are forced to flee their own jungle. Quad coming in to reinforce his guys as now the Drake is the target. FlyQuest, they claimed the first turret in the bottom lane. Bwipo got the 1v2 outplay in the top lane. Now FlyQuest have control over the Drake pit to earn themselves Soul Point 17 minutes into the game.
They are really cruising now. We'll see if River can find some. What a cleanse!
Nicely done. Captain Jack from Massu getting right away from it. Ayla's ready for the follow-up with a Magnet Storm. However, FlyQuest trying to defend with Bwipo making his entry into the fight here with the TP. 1-for-1 so far. Quad for Eyla. Quid's about to drop, making a 2-for-1 special for FlyQuest. This is exactly how they wanted this game to look 17 minutes in.
Yeah, and that teleport felt like a little bit of desperation when they get nothing from that. That hurts. I want to see this cleanse again because that was sick, but let's watch this. 100 Thieves, double soul lanes, go up towards top. They're trying to force the tower down, but while they're doing this, while they're hitting that tower, he is hitting them. Softens up Sniper quite a lot, and then does a great job of just trying to kite back through this, being able to dodge as many of the Qs coming in through from Quid as he possibly can. He is just going crazy. Flashes another Q detonation. That's 2 or 3 that he was able to actually avoid there from Quid. This last one gets him with the very edge of the detonation, but that was huge from Bwipo, playing that excellently. Instead of just backing off, knows, you're going to take the tower in my face, I'm going to kill you.
The grin and eyebrow combo of Bwipo classic, and then we go down here.
Now watch this cleanse. You can't even see the CC hit him. That was picture perfect there from Massu. Felt like the character didn't even slow down. That was sick.
Never broke stride, just kept walking, and then they turn it around. They make the 2-for-1 here as Quid gets caught on the back end of things. 8-4 game now for FlyQuest. When coaches are happy, you know the game is going well.
I mean, this is, you couldn't have drawn it up better, right? It's a slower early game. FlyQuest are the ones choosing the fights. They're the ones playing with a better scaling comp as well. And they are now very far ahead. 19 minutes in, big gold lead, Soul Point, denied 6 grubs. This is a recipe for success. And when they are ahead at 14, they don't miss. This team has not lost a single game while ahead, and they are ahead.
I mean, I feel like we see those kinds of stats a lot, but not at that level, right? Like, oh, they win 90% of the time when they're ahead, or they win 85% of the time when they're ahead. But not dropping a single time when you've got that lead at 14 means 100 Thieves are staring down a pretty nasty game state, and FlyQuest, it's theirs to lose.
Absolutely, and the other side of that stat was, we have this one team that never loses when they're ahead, and we have this other team that is just this action-packed team, is the bloodiest team in the world, the most combined kills and deaths in their games of any team in any region coming into this series. This has not been that kind of game. Yes, it's not bloodless. Yes, it's not, an LCK first blood at 25 minutes, but it is one of those games that is much more controlled, and it's, again, FlyQuest choosing the fights and FlyQuest outscaling you while they do it.
So I like this total damage chart because it tells a really interesting story. Normally, when you have a ranged top laner playing into a tank, that guy's going to have highest damage in the game pretty easily because of the fact that he's just shooting the tank the entire time. You're just getting so much added damage. The only one higher than Sniper, the guy shooting the tank, is the tank. Bwipo is now the unstoppable force and the immovable object.
See, that's where he went wrong, and assuming K'Sante was a tank.
Ah, yes. I see my error
because
at this point.
he's Go-Go Power Rangers, and he turns into an assassin when he goes all out, and that's probably where all of his damage comes from.
He's his own Megazord. Instead of summoning a robot, he just gets
summons himself. I mean, it would be fun to see a damage chart like that and see how much damage was while all out. You know, like how much of that 10,000 damage was just in the couple times he pressed R.
Right, because I mean, it's a ton of the character's kit, right? You pretty much just morph into a bruiser. But right now, 100 Thieves have, I feel like, a very, very quickly shrinking window to try to salvage the game. And that window is looking an awful lot like a 62-second timer on an Ocean Drake that will be Ocean Soul for FlyQuest if they secure it. This is not a good sign for 100 Thieves. The pressure is on. They need to find some way to answer this.
And I have to give Busio credit because I think a lot of people, when they're playing something like Braum, they just always default to these kind of tankier support items. I think Mikhail's is 1,000% the correct choice here. You know, what are you going to do to come back as 100 Thieves? Well, you're going to fish for a Sejuani ult, right? And you're going to hope to hit that Sejuani ult on a carry, burst them 100 to 0, and have that essentially negate your disadvantage. Mikhail's completely stops that. And you could say, yeah, well, throw the ulti at the Braum. Well, if you're going to Sejuani at the Braum, you're probably not winning the fight.
You just throw up the door, stand there. I mean, I feel like Braum is probably the champion in League of Legends Pro Play that I have seen the most games lost by a team engaging on him. And now Eyla's got to get over the wall. Flash from the Rell. That is a massive team fight tool no longer available. I'm talking about 100 Thieves needing to figure out a way to navigate this fight so FlyQuest doesn't get a 22-minute soul. No Rell flash makes that navigation so much harder. The compass just broke.
Yeah, I mean, you have no Rell flash for the engage, so now you're 100% all in on finding a perfect Sejuani ult, which is just going to be Mikhail's or Cleansed. And so I really struggle to see them finding a way unless there's some massive mispositioning here from FlyQuest, and we'll see if 100 Thieves can make a miracle happen.
All right, River is in that brush inside the Drake pit. Nice sidestep there on the accelerated shock blast from FlyQuest. Now they want to go in after River, just trying to burst down the Sejuani. Massu's not going to find anything there with the Chains of Corruption. Quid going in, tries to steal away the Braum ulti. 100 Thieves have made their play. Inspired's going to be killed off first. FlyQuest looking for a little bit more damage back. They're going to grab Sniper. Make it 2. Now 100 Thieves have lost their AD carry. A double kill for Quad. 3 dead in 100 Thieves jerseys, and Ocean Soul for FlyQuest.
Nicely done there by FlyQuest. River goes in. I think he's just really trying to focus on drawing a lot of attention there and trying to soak the damage, saying, okay, well, if they commit to me, maybe we can get some damage out, build some space for my team. You know, he's clearly not going for a 50-50 because he goes in when the Dragons is 7,000 health. He goes in, but the problem here is Massu and Quad on the side are kind of untouched. Busio just immediately peeling back to cover for Massu. Massu flashes back over the wall and then gets so much damage here down onto Quid. Quid is essentially completely out of the fight, and the rest of the time, Quad is just working on this Corki. FBI really cannot get involved. River was on the run. As soon as Bwipo rejoins, this fight is just all over. And now Bwipo, this far ahead, has the Ocean Soul as well. This guy's going to be a brick wall.
How do you kill him, dude? He's got so much armor. The only enemy AP threat is a Sylas who has Proto Belt and a couple of garage sale pieces. Okay, Quad had a bit of a happy ult there, but it doesn't really matter because you're already 2,500 gold ahead with that Drake Soul. I just don't see a way where Bwipo dies without just going completely ham for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it would have to be a real overextension, you know, catch him with a lot of different members here. Quad just going to be able to knock down that tower, though, and they have full control of this area. Summon the Azir turret, looking towards Otacon. Of course, you have to be careful, you know, around Otacon. If you do take too many stacks, you get pretty squishy.
Yeah.
You know, it is cutting down your armor and your MR. But FlyQuest don't need to pressure anything because they have the push down in bot, and they're just slowly but surely creating more space.
Ooh, big hit on Quad there from Sniper. Knocks him down to about 40%, but River's going to be your target on 100 Thieves side yet again. Down to 300 HP here on the Sejuani. They don't overcommit any further towards him. And again, these situations, these heavy trades favor FlyQuest so much because of the Ocean Soul.
Exactly. You know, this is Azir essentially being like gifted a Bloodthirster, right? He just heals back up by hitting the wave. You know, normally you are in such a risk, but instead they put River so low. They know he has to go back to base. They know he has no flash, so they're straight in on the Otacon. I don't think there's anything 100 Thieves can do about this.
No, sir, not with Varus and Azir DPS in the thing. Now Quid's going to be slammed into the wall, has to flash over just to survive, but Bwipo is all out, going after FBI, and Bwipo is the one who knocks. FlyQuest unafraid to keep going forward. Bwipo's looking for another solo kill, this time on the Quid. Doesn't even matter, a double kill back for Quad, a dead bottom lane for 100 Thieves. FlyQuest just got Otacon as the entree. They got the bot lane on the side, and it's Baron for dessert.
Exactly, right back to Baron. You have on-hit Varus and Azir, some of the fastest objective takers in the game, by the way. So they're just still topped off from this Ocean Soul. They're going to claim the Baron as well, and then they are going to be marching on the base. Baron plus Otacon plus Soul at 25 minutes. That is complete control, and that is how you do it.
And the entire time, Bwipo just standing there as a brick wall. No way for River to even approach and try to make that one a 50-50. I feel like we are in go next territory for 100 Thieves after this fight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this one is just completely one-sided. There's not too much to talk about it. Bwipo just runs straight in, takes down FBI. Quid doesn't even bother trying to help him because he knows he has no chance. They'll just get 1v2'd. On the other side, they're losing as well. There's the Otacon GAs. They're still pretty much full health by the end of it. It is just complete domination here from FlyQuest. This is this team at their very best, controlling the map, controlling objectives, fighting on their terms, and they really do look bulletproof when they play like this.
And we saw in an interview from Bwipo after the loss to C9 in the... Oh, hold on. Got a bit of an engage coming out on Massu here. 100 Thieves going in for the carry of FlyQuest. They need a little bit more damage to find him, but they just don't have it. Massu stays alive, and everybody on 100 Thieves is now overextended. Their play is ended. Quad coming around to guarantee this is the last nail in the coffin. FlyQuest aren't even worried about it, and they will continue their push straight down the mid lane with a triple kill from Massu. The Varus, the only man on the Rift that has not even died these 27 minutes. And with all those black and white screens on 100 Thieves, this base is in shambles.
Yeah, they're just going to take all three inhibitors at the same time, but you can't blame 100 Thieves for a look like that. They knew there was no cleanse on Massu. He's a little separated from the team. It's desperation times, right? It is that 1% chance that you're looking for in a game like this. And they took their swing. FlyQuest was ready to answer. Don't even get the Otacon GA off of Massu for insult to injury.
Oh, man, that is a rough one. But what I was saying before, 100 Thieves tried to take their swing. Hold on, we might see another swing in the meantime. Let's see if FlyQuest want to leave. Doesn't look like it. They are ready to just keep this one going. Still 5 minutes strong. That's the power of the Ocean Soul. 20 minutes into the game, you're just immediately still topped off on all your resources. Flank coming around from Quid, but that control ward's going to see him. FlyQuest is fully aware of what's going on. First Nexus turret already down. Only one structure beside the Nexus still standing here in the base. Eyla's in the front line, immediately killed by Massu as they try to engage once more. But no, it's only 2 more deaths. It's all in vain for 100 Thieves. It's another triple for Massu and FlyQuest. 20-5, 29 minutes into the game. Make quick work of 100 Thieves in game number 1 of this best of 3.
Inspired even getting a solo kill on Quid, up 2 levels over the enemy mid laner at the end of that game, by the way. Level 16 on the Vi. This was domination, start to finish. FlyQuest really gave 100 Thieves no chances at all.
I tried to say it twice, and FlyQuest cut me off both times to punch the Thieves in the mouth, but it really feels like they fell into their trap game once during the Cloud9 series to qualify into the conference play, and now they're sharp and they're ready to go.
Absolutely. It's going to be a really exciting one. We'll see if 100 Thieves can bounce back or what they're going to be able to get done, because they need to change something up.
All right, we're going to go ahead and toss this one back to the lounge now to go ahead and break that one down. I'm excited to see what they got cooking. But remember, if you're looking to get cooking, you don't have to feed. You can get fed. Use Uber Eats right now. You can scan the QR code on your screen to get some LTA deals exclusively on Uber Eats. We'll be right back after this.
I know you. All right, nice to meet you. We have a date tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
So you guys do your little review here?
Yeah.
Nice, that's nice. This is me. How did I go from this guy, 2018, random? I was a random. How do I go from this to 4 quarters, worlds? Very simple, trust. So what I want to help you guys is, how do you build trust through your gameplay? Anyone want to take a guess? Anyone, any ideas? You guys have played together, do you trust each other? How do you trust? How do I make my teammates trust me every game? I don't tell them to trust me, I play the game and people trust me. They trusted me in 2018, Fnatic, they trust me. 2019, people trust me. 2020, people trust me. 2021, people trust me. 2022, people don't trust me. Years, I don't go to Worlds. Why now? I take a year break, 2023, I don't play. And I say, well, let's come back. 2024, I go back to Worlds. Why? People trust me. How? Feel free, guess. No one? Staff can guess too.
Connection, talking, getting to know each other more.
Okay. Look.
Consistency.
Is this? Consistency, there you go. Consistency. AD Carry is a very good player, right? Would you consider yourself to be a very good player? You can translate. Do you think you're strong? Strong player? Do you think you're good? Can you carry in this region? Help him prove it. I believe him. I've seen him play. That's it. I can show you any vault. What's your favorite AD carry? Deft. Hey, a classic. Let's have a look. What does Deft do? What's your favorite year? Any year you want to watch? Deft?
2021.
2021 Deft?
22 win the World Cup.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's pull up his World Finals games. Oh, 22, whatever. Game 5. Let's have a look. Let's have a look what our good friend Deft is doing and how he plays the game. And I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be anything special. He's going to just play a stable game of League of Legends. He's not going to take any risks. He is getting and he does it gracefully. It's okay. This is a matchup. It's not my game to carry. But I want to make it easier for other people to carry me. That's what he does. That is trust, my friend. He trusts his teammates. It's all trust, all the way. Obviously, you need to be smart too. You know, make some good plans, some good set plays. But the point is that this game, just trust it.
Hi everybody, FlyQuest beats first, and we are here with a special guest. Bwipo's mom is in the LTA Arena in São Paulo. Ana, muito obrigada por você estar aqui com a gente. Eu quero saber primeiro que nada de você, como é viver, né? Como é viver essa experiência, porque é a primeira vez que o Bwipo joga aqui no Brasil. Você é brasileira, ele tem essa metade brasileira. Como é para você viver esse dia?
Emocionante. Né? Nós fizemos questão de viajar, eu saí da Bélgica especialmente para vir vê-lo, para apoiar, e não só eu, o irmão e a minha mãe também, a avó dele e a tia, fazer questão de vir para apoiá-lo, porque eu sei que é muito importante para ele, então se é importante para ele, é importante para nós também.
Ah, que bonito. I asked her about the first day, because it's the first time her watch Bwipo played in Brazil, because she's Brazilian, Bwipo have a half part Brazilian, and she told she's so glad and happy to be here, because she's traveled from Belgium from stay here for today, and with the Bwipo's daughter, Bwipo's son, the Bwipo's brother, yes. Grandmother, and she's so happy because if it's important to Bwipo, it's important to her also. But now I need to know what is it to live this experience as a mother, you know? How do you live a game day as a mother perspective?
Muito nervosa, né? Você fica nervosa, ansiosa também, né? Porque tudo pode acontecer, né? Mesmo que nesse dia, especialmente hoje, o time deles é o favorito. É sempre um jogo. Então a gente fica na expectativa. Eu tô nervosa, ansiosa, mas vai dar tudo certo, se Deus quiser.
I'm so nervous because, you know, even FlyQuest is favorite for today. Everything is gonna be happens today, but I'm so nervous. My heart is like a small, and I'm so nervous. And finally, do you have any message for NA fans?
Oh, claro, claro. Eu gostaria muito de agradecer a todos os fãs o apoio que eles sempre deram a Gabriel e o carinho também, claro, né? Que tem por ele, porque não é, vamos falar assim, um estilo de vida simples e fácil, né? É como ganha, perde, ganha. Então, mesmo assim, eu agradeço muito, muito mesmo, de todo o meu coração, todo o apoio e o suporte que eles têm dado para ele, que é muito importante para ele.
I'm so grateful for all the support because, you know, it's not an easy lifestyle because you lost and even you're gonna win and you lost and win, but I'm so grateful for all of this love and support for Bwipo. E muito obrigada por você estar aqui.
Muito obrigada a você, muito obrigada pelo carinho também.
And we're gonna break and this back soon.
Ready, set, go!
I'm at 47%.
Oh, I'm on 63%.
Man, I'm at 50%. Boom! 80%. Winner!
The Kia EV9 can go from 10% charge to 80% charge in just 24 minutes with DC fast charging.
Red Bull gives you wings.